In this video, we're going to create dedicated group profile page, similar to what we did on the user profile page. We're going to also implement uploading cover and avatar images for the groups. Now let's commit the changes and let's give it a proper message. Implement creating, no, actually we had creating in the last commit. So implement loading correct groups for the user. Now I want to create the group profile page in a similar way we have done this for the user. Like when I click on this, it is not redirected because we have not actually linked that, but we have this profile page, right? This is my profile page where we see the posts and the followers and followings and everything. We obviously need to implement this user profile page and output the posts and followers and a few other things, but we have to create similar URL, define similar URL for the groups. Okay, this is what I'm going to do right now. First, let's go into web.php and find that route where we have this. Basically, accessing the user profile is possible for every user, for guest and for authenticate as well. So we want something similar. You can access the group page, but this is going to only give you the information such as the cover, thumbnail, and maybe group details. So obviously you should not see the group posts, because otherwise it doesn't make sense to have those private groups if you still show something to everyone. Okay, so and all those groups are basically, the intention is private. Well, obviously we can go a step farther and have two types of groups, like public groups, which every post inside that group would be public and you will be able to see all the posts, but you will not be able to publish any posts inside this group if you don't join to the group. And we can have private groups, which means that you will not be able to see anything inside that group. And I think we are going to do private groups. So I am going to still show the group page, but it is going to be only a similar page. But right here, we're going to write that please join to the group to see the posts. And yeah, just like this, we're going to do it. But accessing the group page should be possible, because right here, we're going to also have the button request to join to the group, for example. Okay, so let's define this URL. We're going to have this group, select group by slug. Then we're going to have here group controller. Let's call this profile, and the URL will be the name will be group.profile. Now let's go in the group controller. I think we don't need index, so I'm just going to use this. And well, I'm going to use several things from the user profile because it's going to be pretty similar, isn't it? So let me copy this, paste here. We're going to render group view, and we have to create that group view. This is something we can remove. Status we can remove, and we're going to use group resource. and we are going to accept group here, and we're gonna pass this group into group resource, and we're gonna pass this group into the view. And this success, let me just comment this for now. Then let's go into resources, JS, pages, and we have this profile view, and I want to create new component. This is going to be group/view. Here we go, and let's go in the profile view, and I am going to copy everything. There are a lot of things actually, but I'm going to copy everything because it's going to be very similar, and we're going to just adjust a few things. Okay, let's just paste this here. Then let me search for, instead of user dot, we will need group. So basically I'm going to search and replace user dot with group dot everywhere. Then let me search for group dot. We have this cover URL, and what it is called in the database, we have cover path. So we will also have cover URL. What else? Avatar URL. So instead of avatar URL, we call this thumbnail URL. Okay, what else? Group name, this is correct. This is something else. We had this auth user, which was replaced with the group, auth group, is my profile. This is interesting. If it's my profile, I was doing something like I had this edit functionality. Now I need to check if I am admin inside this group. Okay, is current user admin. Basically, I'm going to search for is my profile and replace this is current user admin. Or maybe I can completely remove this is my profile mentioning. Let me just remove this for now. Then is current user admin, we don't need this as well. Okay, let's start from the top. We can remove this, we can remove this. Auth user, I think I will need this auth user, so I'm going to leave this. Cover user source, and we have avatar, cover image source, and we have avatar image source. Basically, this avatar image source, we can replace this and call thumbnail image source. We have errors and must verify email and status. This can be removed. We have success, which I'm not sure if we need this, and we're going to call this group. On cover change, we have this images form, cover equals that. We read this, which is correct. On avatar change, this is actually should be called on thumbnail change. Then inside this images form, we have avatar and cover, and I'm going to call this thumbnail. And let me search for avatar, lowercase, every place where we have this avatar mentioned, and I'm going to change this into thumbnail. Let's replace them one by one. This is something else. This is something else. This is just CSS, like we provided group avatar, but we can even provide group thumbnail. I think we can change this as well. And right here, we need thumbnail as well. Okay, let me try to access a specific group, like this one, for example, and we need to link this properly from the group list items as well. We have this group item, and I'm going to change this into maybe router link, or it should be link coming from inertia link. Okay, we need to import this, import from inertia.js view 3, and what we need to import is called link. And we have to provide here, let me actually search for all the places where I have this link mentioned, the link used, href. Yes, we need to provide here href and provide the route, where the route name will be group.profile and the parameter will be group.slug. Now if I reload, those are linked to their corresponding pages. Let me open the developer tools just in case we have some errors. Let's expand the groups, and I'm going to click this vue.js developers. The URL was opened. Okay, and we don't see any error as well, and we see posts, followers, followings, and photos. This is actually group. This is the cover image, and this is the thumbnail. Okay, so far we have good progress. We need to put right now, we need to either display the posts or put right now you don't have permission to view the posts because you are not joined to the group. If I am admin, I need to put a button right here to invite others to join to the group. And if I'm regular user, I need to be able to request that join access on the group. Okay, let me open profile view for the user, and there was this variable is my profile. There was additional tab, and there was additional tab panel as well, in which case we were displaying this user profile page information, but we should have somewhere the button for the edit. I think we don't have. So if I'm just trying to access my profile, then my profile is right here, and this is directly form. Okay, I got it. Let's go back into group page, and let me search for the place where we output the group name. This is it. Okay, I need to put a button right here. This is going to be invite users. Here we see this button, invite users. If we can put this right here as well, that's going to be also good. But anyway, now let's leave this here. And let me search for button. I want to get some styles of the button. This is different button. I want cancel and submit. This is cover image. I want to get the other button. Yeah, I think that should be edit.view. There is this submit button. I just want to get the CSS classes of the button. Primary button. Okay, let's go into group view, and where's group name? Here. Let's just put the primary button and give it text invite users. If you're watching this, learning And if you are not yet subscribed to the channel, please pause the video right now, hit the subscribe button and continue watching. So this is the best thing what you can do right now for me to support my work. However, we need two buttons right here. One should be for the admin and second should be regular users. Okay, let's write those two buttons, invite users and join to group. And third one will be request to join. So we need the if statement, the if, okay, if the current user is admin of the group, then we're going to see this button. Let's go into profile again and let me search for is my profile. This is it. I'm going to copy this part. Let's go into group view and we need this computed above props. Let's put this above props. Is current user admin. The current user is admin if the auth user exists and if the props group role is admin. I think we don't need this comparison because props group role is returning, this role is returning what is the role for the current user. Okay, even this is not necessary. Is current user admin? We're going to have true in our case. Where we have this invite. Yep. If current user is admin, we have this invite users. But let's have a look. Props group role. Okay, what is this props group role? Actually, we have group here and we have role. Okay, there is no role right now. And I think the reason is that we don't select this here. Okay, now I got it. Basically, when we create new group, let me explain now this. When we create new group, I need to open group controller. We're inside. Right here. We assign group status and group role from here. Okay. In the home controller, we join into group users because we want to only select those groups which is for the current user. So we need this join. And because we are already joined, we are selecting this status and role as well. But in our group controller right here, we are not joined into group user, so we don't know what is the role and status for the current user. So in this case, I think we need to do a relation here. Let's define public function group user. Okay, and we're going to return this as one user. Actually, that should be group user class. Okay, and let's just return this has one. Let's add this. Let's change this into imports. Has one here. Okay, now this group user. What is it? From the groups, we are going to group users. But we want to get the record for the current user, currently authenticated user, which is going to be some number. like 1 in our specific case. So if I want to get a record for the, let's say, group with ID 7, this is going to be the record it's going to return, and we're going to have role admin. So right here, I'm going to add additional where, which means that I want to get this for the current user. Or maybe we need to write with additional with and provide this query. I'm going to create this let's give it proper name, like a current user group. And in this case, I will add right here user ID, which is going to be auth ID, current user group. Okay. Now, if we go in the group controller and I am going to load this relation, current user group. Now, in this group resource, I'm going to change how I am returning status and role. This is going to be current user group status and current user group role. Now, if we go on the home page and reload that, we should not see this admin. We see that. Yeah, we should see this, because on the home page, when we are just iterating and creating these resources, it's going to make the request to this current user group every time whenever it needs this. So it's going to do a lazy loading and it's going to do a couple of queries. But to make this optimal, we need to go to the home controller. We can remove this. We're just querying the group, but we can provide with right here current user group, in which case it's going to make one query, attempt to read property status on null, the current user group is null for some reason in certain cases. Let's go in the group resource and I'm going to use this question mark arrow here. But let's see the result. I see all of them are not approved. Why? Should this be array? Okay. What is wrong with that? Okay, if I undo this select, then it is working. Group resource. Okay, why is this working and this is not working? Basically, if I remove this completely, then it is not working. Okay, I need to see what database queries are made when we execute that. On the following request, what database queries are executed? Either I need to install these debugging tools like Laravel Telescope, for example, to debug our application and see how many queries we are making. Or first, before I introduce a new package right here, which probably finally I need to introduce at some point, but I'm trying to understand what am I doing wrong. home controller, we're just selecting the group. We are joining this into group user. And we are doing this to only select the groups for which the current user has access to. Then we order by this. And if we provide, maybe there is this issue inside with. What if I remove this where completely? Then what happens? Inside the group resource, we're going to leave this. Reload. It is not approved. Okay, I need to understand what database queries are executed. Otherwise, I am not able to actually debug this properly. So I need to install Laravel Telescope. Because we are using inertia, if we are doing this a traditional Laravel application, we could install the debug bar, but I'm not sure if debug bar works correctly in inertia. So that's why I'm trying to install the telescope. Okay, we're going to require this. So let's open the terminal and execute this require. Then we're going to execute this installation. We need this local only installation. Basically, I can copy this part. Okay, if I open now composer.json, I should see this Laravel Telescope in the required dev. Okay, then let's execute telescope install. And let's execute PHP artisan migrate. Okay, that was successfully applied. You should remove the telescope service provider. And we should do this manually, registering the telescope service provider in the register method. Okay, let's just search, let's open config app PHP and remove this telescope service provider if it's there. It is not there. No, it is there. Why this doesn't find it? Okay, we need to remove this. And we need to put this in the app service provider. So let's open app service provider. And in the register, we need the following code. We're doing this on if the environment is local. Okay, we need this extra part. Let's open composer.json. And inside extra, in Laravel don't discover, we need this Laravel Telescope. Now there's already configuration part, but I think we can already access Telescope. Let's see. Oops. Okay. Let's now duplicate this because we need Telescope opened and I want database queries. Here I see all of them. And let's go into my application also. And now I'm interested queries regarding groups. So let me clear this. And if I just reload, let's see. Okay, a lot of queries are made. Okay, select from group users where the group users group ID equals 3. By the way, because we don't have with here, this is making a query in the loop for every group. Okay, so we need this with. So let's go in the group, let's get the name and put this inside with. This is the one thing we need to do for sure. Let's clear this and reload. Now let's have a look. So we are selecting these reactions. We are interested in the groups. By the way, we are doing this select a lot of times. Okay, we need to optimize this part as well, definitely. But we are our groups. Okay, if I search for groups right here, this is the query. Select everything from group users. We are group users. Okay, we need to select this for the current user. So inside here, we need this where user ID is the auth ID. Let's clear this again and reload, and let's search for group. Group. Okay, we are interested in the user group users. Group users, we are user ID equals 1, and the group users group ID in. I think this should be, I think this is correct. We're selecting all the groups where we join this into group users where the group user ID is 1 and the deleted at is null, order by role ascending and name descending. So this looks correct, and I can't understand why I don't see this here. Probably because we have here has one. If I change this into has many, then what are we going to have? So each group has many current user groups. This is going to be an array, basically. And this is going to give us an error. Exactly. So if we go in the group service, this is now error. If I take that status from the first index, okay, this is empty array. There is nothing inside. I cannot understand why it is not able to select group users. Let me go into home controller again. I select the groups. I'm going to print first group, groups at 0, and I want to have a look. This is the first group. It has attributes. What about relations? Okay, now I want to access this current user group relation. It is a collection. but there's nothing inside. Okay, which group is that? Let's see. The group has ID 4. If we check in the group users, we're gonna see, I don't see ID 4. Wait. Now it gets perfectly clear. Okay, this is a typical scenario when you develop real application, you got stuck, you start debugging, and at some point there's this moment when you realize that you are doing it wrong. And I will explain what I'm doing wrong. So because I have join here with a single query, okay, now I will explain this very clearly. With this query, which has a join, it is selecting groups with group users, and we have asterisk here, which means that I'm selecting the group users ID. So when I print right here a group which has ID 4, this is actually not the group ID because we don't have group with ID 4, and our vue.js group has ID 14, actually 12, but that ID 4 is coming from the group users from here because we did this join. Okay, and everything should be fixed if I simply select only the part which is for groups. I'm selecting only groups. Now this should start working immediately, and we can go into group, change this, undo this, and change this into has1. We have this, we can leave that. We can go into group resource, convert this into object. We don't even need this question mark, it will be there. And then we can reload the page. Now we see admin and not approved. And this is the part that was causing the problem. If I comment this, reload, I see this problem that it cannot grab this current user group because the ID of the group is selected from the group user's ID. This is the issue. So now this is working, okay? By the way, we need to definitely work on optimization of this part. We are doing this, selecting the reactions and the users a lot of times. We definitely need to optimize this. But let's get back to the thing what we are doing. So we are on the group page, and now we see admin here as well. Let's go into group controller. Actually, let's go into group view as well. Is current user admin? Well, we need to check if the role equals admin. So in this case, we can consider that this is admin. We see true right now. So we have these invite users. If the current user is not admin, then we're going to check if the group has this flag called auto approval. Okay, if group v else if the group auto approval is enabled, then join to group means that I will be able to join the group without someone else's approval. However, if the auto approval is there, then we need request to join. So in our case, the current user is actually admin. So I see invite users button, and we are in the group of Vue.js developers. Okay, if we change the Vue.js developers has the ID 12. If we go in the group users and change the role for, let's move this group ID in front of it, for this into user, Then I see join to group, but I should not see this join to group because the user is actually already part of this group. So if the current user is admin, we see invite users. Then right here we need if the group role does not exist, which means that if the current user is not part of the group, if the group role doesn't exist and the auto approval is activated, we're going to see join to group, and we're going to do the else if right here as well. If the group role doesn't exist, but also auto approval means is false, then we're going to request to join. Let me actually write separate ifs. This VLC if gets a little bit complicated in this case. So if the current user is admin, we say invite users, right? Separate if the current user, if the group role doesn't exist, we're going to do this. If the group role doesn't exist and the auto approval is enabled, we're going to see this join to group as we had this without VLC, so we can delete this. Oops. Another if will be if the role doesn't exist but the auto approval is also false, then we're going to request to join. Now here we don't see anything because the current user is there, it's a part of the group, and also current user is a user and it doesn't have permission to invite someone else. So yeah, just like this, the current user is not able to invite someone else. Then if we go into a user group, and if I'm going to copy this line and I'm going to delete this line, so which means that the current user is not part of the group at all. So I will reload this, and now we see this error. This is coming from the group resource, and now this error is logical. We need question mark here. Reload. I just came across to this group, or someone else probably sent a URL of this group, and I want to join to this group. But because the group has these vue.js developers has auto approval 1, I see this join to group. If I set this auto approval false, then I should see request to join, okay, which means that someone should approve my request. So this is good so far. Cool. Okay, I think right now we have this group page. We have a couple of things to implement here. We have to do this join to group. We have to implement this invite users as well as the request to join. But first, I want to take care of the updating this group cover and group thumbnail. So let's take care of this first. And we have done this for the user, so I think we're going to do small copy paste thing. Okay, let's actually duplicate this part. Group update images. This is going to be group controller update image, group update images. Now let's go in the update image of the profile controller, and I'm going to copy this method, and let's go into group controller, and I'm going to paste this method here. Now let's modify a few things. We get this cover and avatar. Let me search for avatar and replace it with thumbnail. Okay, cool. We did this. Then we get the current user, but we don't need the current user. We need current group. So if we go in the web PHP profile, update images, and we need this group here as well by slug. No, not here. Sorry. That should be here. Group by slug. Then here we accept the request, but we're going to accept group as well. Okay, now we need check to make sure that the currently authenticated user is admin inside the group to make such changes. I'm thinking right now it's going to be better to write an if statement here and return forbidden. Let me actually do this right now. Maybe I can improve this later and create custom middleware for this. So in this specific case, I want to load this relation, current user group. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm loading that part. Actually, I don't even need to load. I'm going to do the following. Inside the group, I'm going to create this public function is admin, and I'm passing the user ID. And what I'm going to do is just return if this current user group user ID is the same as the given user ID, then it is admin. Okay, we're going to return Boolean from here. So now I'm going to do the following check. If group is admin for the currently authenticated user, it should be vice versa. Basically, if the currently authenticated user is admin for this group, now let's do, if it's not an admin, we are going to return response you, let's use double quotes, you don't have permission to perform this action. And we're going to return with the status code 403, forbidden. Otherwise, we're going to continue. Here, instead of user, we need group. So I can replace all the user mentionings with group. And we have the cover path on the group. We have the ID. Here we need group as well. We have this cover path, and we have this thumbnail path. Right here we need group. And we have a couple of user mentionings here as well here, which needs to be replaced with the group. If I search for user in this below section, I don't see anything. Okay, good. Now let's go in this group view, and I need to find the place where we have this. In every place, first I have the script and then I have the template, so I'm going to do the same here. But I'm looking for the submit area. Here it is, submit cover image. And this is going to be group update images, and submit avatar image. This is going to be group update image. However, I'm going to search for avatar here and replace it with thumbnail. But make sure that when you search for avatar, make sure you search with the match case and replace it with the uppercase T as well, in which case this will be replaced with the proper name. Okay, good. And I'm going to search for lowercase avatar as well, which is used here. I think we can leave this. And that's it. Okay, I think we don't have any avatar mentioning with lowercase or uppercase except this one. Now, if I try to update the cover and just go to the images, and let's have this preview of the images, and I'm going to choose this one. Let's click on submit. We have an error. Group parameter is required for road group update images. That's correct. It is slightly different from the profile update images, because inside the profile we are simply selecting the currently authenticated user, but in this case we need to pass props group. Okay, the user is not correct here. Submit cover image, and we need props group here, or maybe group slug. Let's try this again. I'm going to choose the image. I'm going to choose on submit, and we see this issue here. This is actually strange, because no, it is not strange. I use groups, but I should have used group. Okay, let's try this again. Let's go to the network, and I'm going to click on submit. Okay, now we have this backend error. Attempt to read property. On null. So we need question mark here. Basically, because this current user group is null, so actually current user even is not part of this, group at all. In which case, by the way, that's a good point, we should not see this update cover image button. But let's first show and test the backend functionality. Hit on submit. I think I haven't saved that file. Let's hit on submit again. You don't have permission to perform this action. Okay, so this is good, but right now I think we need to even hide these buttons. Update cover image. Let's go in the group view. I'm going to close everything because I have too many files opened. Okay, so group view. Let's search for update cover image. We have this cancel and submit buttons as well. So this entire div should not be visible, should only be visible if current user admin. So in this case, we don't see it, which is correct. Okay, let's do the same thing for this avatar, but let's first test if uploading avatar works. If I hit on submit, I see you don't have permission to perform this action, which is correct. But this is thumbnail. I see either update button or these X and check icons, but this, none of them, nor this, neither this should be displayed if the current user is not admin. So this should only be visible if is current user admin and source image doesn't exist. And this should only be visible if the current user is admin. Now I don't see this. Let me just reload. I don't see any action icons. I just see join to group. Now I will open this group users and I'm going to create this new record. Okay, delete this. I thought I still had this copied. Let me actually try to have a look in my clipboard. Do I have this? This is it. Yep. I need to paste this here. Cool. I just created a user. The record right here with the role user. So if I reload, still I should not have the section buttons. But if I change this into admin, then I have these control buttons. If I choose the image when I'm admin user, I see the buttons, click on submit. And it seems like it worked. But something is wrong. Let's open group.php. This is the issue. Inside fillable, we don't have cover path and thumbnail path. It still doesn't seem to be working. Let me check in the file system. Public, not public. Let's go into storage, public. We see group and we see two images, but that doesn't get saved in the database. No, it got saved. Okay, so now the issue is that we don't return it in the group resource, which is not a big deal. Let's just, I think we need to use storage URL. Storage URL, provide this thumbnail URL. That's for the thumbnail, and let's do this for cover. Now let's reload the page. We see it broken. Let me check the user resource, how we're returning. Storage URL, cover path, cover URL. That should be path. Thumbnail path and cover path. Okay, now this works. This is broken. There is no image right now. In which case, let's just try to upload this, which worked. But if there are no avatar and no cover, let's go to the home page and see another group. Okay, this is broken. And we're gonna return something in this case, or we're gonna display something. I need no image PNG. Let's save this image. I'm going to put this in the pictures and then I'm going to move it in my project. Okay, this is my picture. Let me just cut this and put in my project. That should go under public image right here. No image PNG. So now the question is, if there is no image, should we return this image from the backend, or we should use this on the front end? Let me try to return this on the backend. Okay, if the thumbnail path exists, we are returning the URL. Otherwise, we're going to return image no image dot png. Now let's have a look. We see this no image everywhere. If I click on this group, we see no image here. Then we have this cover image broken, for which we can use the same thing, but in this case I'm going to return null because we have this on the front end side. So if the cover path exists, we return its URL, otherwise we return null, in which case we see this default cover. And this default cover is taken on the front end side. Okay, whenever I create new group, it has no image. Then we go on the group section and I can update its okay, we don't display the notifications that the cover image or any image was successfully updated. And I think we need to do this. I'm going to open group controller. And what is this success? I think we set the success from here. So let's try to update this. Your cover image was updated. If I update this avatar, for avatar I don't see this same message. Why? Okay, I see this working, but if I change the same image again, then it doesn't work. So this is probably an issue on the front end side, and I think that's going to be an issue on my profile side as well. So because we copied everything, that will be an issue there as well. So I'm going to change this. I see the message, then I update this back into my image, and I don't see this. Okay, let's fix that small thing, because such small things generally stay there for a very long time. In the group view, let's fix this in the group view first, and we need to understand why this is happening. So we're gonna search for success word. Okay, show notification and success. What is the show notification? Okay. When we submit this cover image, the success is notification is displayed, but after like 3 seconds, we set this notification into false, which by default is true, but by default success is false. So what we need to do is right here in this callback, let's remove this user here. So in this callback, we're going to set show notification.value equals true. Let's test this. I'm going to update this, hit on submit. I see the message. I'm going to update this again into okay. The show notification is what is actually causing this issue. Let's just have a look. What is the value for the show notification? Maybe we can put this above. Where we are. We are in the group. Yes, we are in the group, but I'm checking the user, which is wrong. If I go in the group, I change the image, hit on submit, I see the message. I change the image again, hit on submit, I see the message. I change the image again, hit on submit, I see the message. Okay, I think we fixed that. Just I was checking wrong place. And then I do this again. And I see the message. Okay, cool. We need to do the same thing for the profile/view right now. Now let's search for show notification. This is it. And we are going to add the show notification value equals true in this callback, which basically means, by the way, that whenever this onSuccess happens, from the backend, the component is rebound, okay, remounted, not actually remounted, but updated. So, and we get this updated prop success, okay? And if the success is some kind of message, then this needs to be true because we check the combination of both here. Show notification needs to be true and success needs to be also something in order to display it. And once we set this previously, once we set this value false, we never set this into true. Okay, and that's why it was never displayed. If you're learning something from me, you might want to check my premium course, How to Build E-commerce Website with Laravel and vue.js on my website, thecodetoilet.com. Okay, we are in the group right now and we have implemented updating the group cover and group thumbnail, which is great. Now I think we can move forward and take care of these buttons, inviting users into the group.